There is a place on Earth where the air itself is alive. Where every breath you take carries the breath of 10,000 species. 500 million acres. 6 countries. 1 living, breathing organism. The Congo Basin. The second largest rainforest on Earth. And the most dangerous place to be anything but invisible. Imagine you step inside. Right now. No guide. No path. No way out. Every shadow hides teeth. Every silence hides a heartbeat. Every second, something is watching you. Because in the Congo, you are not the observer. You are the observed. This is Into the Congo. And here, the rules of survival were written 50 million years before humans ever stood upright. Welcome to Africa's green heart. It's already beating around you. 178 million hectares. That's the size of Alaska, the size of Texas, and California combined all together. 60 inches of rain every single year. Some regions receive over 120. The Congo doesn't have seasons the way you understand them. It has wet and wetter. The forest has layers, like an apartment building designed by evolution itself. The canopy, 100 feet up. A solid roof of leaves where 90% of the Congo's life lives. The understory, where the giants begin. Dappled light. Dense shadow. Endless hiding places. And the floor, where less than 2% of sunlight ever reaches. A world of permanent twilight. Down here, you measure time not in hours, but in what left the footprint you just stepped in. 5 rulers share this kingdom. Each has claimed a different flaw. A different strategy. A different way to kill or be killed. And it all begins with the largest of them all, the one that carved the paths you're about to walk. The African forest elephant. Smaller than its savanna cousin. But down here in the dark, size isn't everything. Meet the gardener of the Congo. 6,000 pounds of muscle navigating a forest so dense, you can't see 30 feet ahead. Forest elephants are engineers. They don't just walk through the jungle, they redesign it. Each elephant creates up to 14 kilometers of trails per year, highways the entire forest uses. Without these giants, the Congo would choke on its own growth. The gardener is the garden. A forest elephant consumes 200 kilograms of vegetation every single day. And what goes in must come out. 350 pounds of dung daily, each pile containing up to 90 different plant species seeds. The Congo doesn't grow without the elephant. The elephant is the Congo. They live in family groups of up to 20 individuals, led by the oldest female. The one who remembers where water hides in dry seasons. Her memory is the family's GPS. 60 years of migration routes stored in a brain weighing 5 kilograms. The calves are born blind. 200 pounds at birth. They can't see for the first week of their lives, but they can feel every vibration in the earth. Forest elephants communicate through the ground itself. Infrasonic rumbles at 14 Hz, too low for human ears. But the earth carries the message for miles. When one elephant detects danger, the entire herd knows within seconds. Without making a sound. Forest elephants, the architects of an ecosystem that would collapse without them. And they are vanishing. In the last decade, forest elephant populations have crashed by more than 62%. Pushed out by logging. Poached for ivory. Gabon holds the last major stronghold, but even that fortress is cracking under the saw and the bullet. But there are things in this forest that not even an elephant can sense until it's too late. The African rock python, 20 feet of muscle, 200 pounds of silent death. It doesn't stalk, it waits. But the python feels the matriarch's warning rumble through the earth, a vibration no human could detect, and it chooses patience over battle. This time, the gardener survives. But the python won't go hungry for long. Because in the Congo, there's always another target. Higher up. Different floor. Different king. The Western lowland gorilla. 400 pounds. 5.5 feet tall when standing. And a bite force of 1,300 pounds per square inch. That's nearly twice the bite of a lion. But this king has no interest in violence, unless you threaten his family. A gorilla troop is a kingdom in miniature. One silverback. Multiple females. They're young. And an unspoken contract: he protects, they follow. The infants are born weighing just 4 pounds. Helpless, clinging to their mother's chest for the first 4 months of life. An adult male consumes 40 pounds of vegetation every day: leaves, stems, bark, fruit. A mountain of green turned into muscle. And they are far more intelligent than most people realize. Gorillas have been observed using sticks to gauge water depth, breaking branches to create tools, solving puzzles that stump chimpanzees. But when diplomacy fails, the silverback's display is unmistakable. The chest beat carries for over a kilometer through dense forest. These confrontations are rarely fatal. But when two 400-pound males collide, the forest holds its breath. A charging silverback can reach 25 miles per hour through terrain that would break a human's ankle in 3 steps. Every night, every gorilla over the age of 3 builds a new nest. A fresh bed woven from branches. Never the same nest twice. The silverback sleeps on the ground, placing his body between his family and anything that hunts in darkness. He does not sleep deeply. He cannot. Because in the Congo, the night belongs to something else entirely. There is an animal in this forest that science didn't even confirm existed until 1901. The Western world called it a myth. The locals called it the ghost. The okapi. It looks like a zebra crossed with a giraffe, and that's exactly what it is. The giraffe's only living relative. Its tongue is 18 inches long, long enough to lick its own eyeballs. Long enough to strip leaves from branches most animals can't even reach. That striped pattern isn't random. It's the Congo's most perfect camouflage, breaking the okapi's outline into 1,000 pieces of light and shadow. Each ear can rotate independently, tracking sounds from 2 different directions at once. The okapi hears the leopard before the leopard hears the okapi. Okapi mothers hide their calves for the first 2 months of life, visiting only to nurse. The calf produces almost no scent. It doesn't even defecate until it's strong enough to run. Complete invisibility. The ghost earns its name. You can be staring directly at an okapi and not see it, until it decides you do. And then it's already gone. There are only about 10,000 okapi left in the wild. They exist in exactly one country, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nowhere else on Earth. Nowhere else on Earth. If the gorilla is the king and the okapi is the ghost, the chimpanzee is the warlord. Chimpanzees share 98.8% of our DNA. And that remaining 1.2%. That's where the violence lives. They are the Congo's most sophisticated tool users. Sticks for termite fishing. Rocks for nut cracking. Leaves for sponges. Spears for hunting. Yes, spears. In Senegal, chimpanzees have been documented sharpening sticks with their teeth and using them to hunt bush babies. We taught ourselves tools. They did too. When chimpanzees hunt, they hunt in teams. Roles are assigned. Flankers cut off escape routes. The lead hunter drives the prey toward the ambush. Their primary target, the colobus monkey, smaller, faster, bt the chips have NBERS and planning. The success rate is terrifying, nearly 50% of hunts end in a kill. For context, lions succeed only about 25% of the time. After the kill, the meat is shared, but not equally. The alpha eats first, allies get choice cuts, rivals get nothing. Politics, pure politics. But they are not only killers. For every hour of violence, there are 10 hours of grooming. Social bonds are the currency of chimp society. Chimpanzee infants stay with their mothers for 5 years, learning tool use, social hierarchy, hunting tactics. But when the troops' borders are threatened, everything changes. Chimpanzee border patrols are military operations. They walk in single file. They stop talking, they listen for enemy calls. And when they find an isolated outsider, they kill without hesitation. Jane Goodall documented the first chimpanzee war in 1974. It lasted 4 years. The Gombe Chimpanzee War, genocide, carried out by our closest relatives. Genocide, carried out by our closest relatives. When you look into a chimpanzee's eyes, you are not looking at an animal. You are looking at a version of yourself that never left the forest. But as the sun begins to die and the forest floor goes black, the chimpanzee retreats upward. Because down here, at this hour, something else wakes up. The leopard. The only big cat in Africa that can hunt everywhere. Ground. Trees. Water. There is nowhere it cannot reach you. A leopard can carry prey twice its body weight straight up a tree. 130 pounds of antelope dragged 60 feet into the canopy, using nothing but neck and jaw strength. The leopard's spotted coat is not decoration. In dappled forest light, a leopard at 30 feet is completely invisible. The strike happens in 0.3 seconds. The prey never sees it coming. The leopard bites the throat, crushing the windpipe, and the hunt is over before it began. And then it eats in private, high above the thieves and scavengers. The hyena cannot climb. The crocodile cannot climb. The leopard owns the vertical world. And then the rain comes. As it always does. As it always does. 60 inches a year. 2.5 trillion gallons falling on the Congo the forest drinks. And it breathes. This forest produces 40% of the oxygen over Africa. It stores 30 billion tons of carbon. Without the Congo, the planet's lungs would collapse. Every creature here knows the rain. The elephant welcomes it, mud cooling 6,000 pounds of heat. The gorilla endures it, huddled under broad leaves. The leopard hunts in it, sound masked by the downpour. The water carves the land. The Congo River, 2,900 miles long. The deepest river on Earth. In places, over 720 feet to the bottom. As the sun sets on another day in the Congo, the forest doesn't sleep. It shifts. The graveyard shift takes over. Creatures that have never seen daylight. Sounds that have no name. 10,000 animal species, and scientists estimate they've only catalogued half of them. The Congo doesn't care about human borders. It doesn't care about time. It has been here for 60 million years. And it will be here long after we are gone, if we let it. But right now, we are not letting it. Every year, 1.5 million hectares disappear. Chainsaws. Bulldozers. Fire. The Congo needs guardians. The elephant. The gorilla. The okapi. The chimpanzee. The leopard. They cannot protect this place alone. Every sunrise in the Congo is a second chance. For the gardener. For the king. For the ghost. For the warlord. For the shadow. You came here imagining a forest. But the Congo isn't just trees and rain. It's the most complex living system on the continent. And it is still writing its story. This was Into the Congo, Episode 1. In the next episode, we leave the forest behind and step onto the savannah, where the rules change, and the hunters become the hunted. Subscribe now. The savannah is waiting. And it is hungry.